Do people often say to you, you're afraid of change? Do they ask you that question? Or do they just say that statement to you? I don't think being afraid of change is the whole story. I think that you're afraid of something deeper, something no one ever taught you how to hold. You don't want to talk about it. And people just assume that you don't want to change. I think you're afraid of being kind to yourself because for so long, the only thing that's kept you going is being hard on yourself. How many people do you know that are quite critical of themselves and really hard on themselves? I'm one of them people. I still do it to this day. I can be really hard on myself, but then I catch myself doing it and I do a reframe. But how often are you hard on yourself? The thing is, we don't trust softness. We don't trust rest. And we certainly don't trust compassion because all them things feel like you're being weak. So we don't trust them. We don't trust them. We don't let them in. I'm Cheryl. I'm a therapist and a life coach. And through my Heart to Heal method, I help people unlearn the belief that healing has to be hard and that being cruel to themselves is the only way to stay motivated. I meet so many people that will flog themselves to death purely because they think that is the way to keep them motivated and to keep them going. And it's just not. It's rubbish. And sometimes I think we punish ourselves so that we don't have to look at the reality of things, and we can run away from stuff. But it's just exhausting and it's not a way to be. So here's what I know. With speaking to clients, of hundreds of clients that I have spoken to, I do know this, okay? If you grew up in survival mode, you had to be the strong one, the achiever, and the fixer. Then self-criticism probably feels like a safe place. It's control that feels like love. It's the same reason or a similar reason that people stay in abusive relationships, because they feel like they're being loved, even though someone's criticizing them and putting them down and things like that. But people will stay. I know I stayed in a relationship like that for 7 years, with beatings and constantly putting me down and slagging me off and telling me that I wasn't good enough, and little subtle things that they would do or he would do. But that's not love. That all that is control. And the other thing that it is, it's punishment that feels like progress. You feel that if you punish yourself and then you take that step forward, you're actually making progress, but you're not. You're just taking a step forward in a muddy bog that's not going to get you anywhere. Now, as adults, being kind to ourselves, especially when you've been through something like this. And as I said, it isn't just about it being in your childhood. It could be, mine was an abusive husband. But being kind to myself, it felt foreign. It felt unsafe. It felt like I was slipping somehow. And I'm sure that if you're feeling this way, then, some of the things that I've said to you will resonate with you, that you feel unsafe. And being kind to yourself makes you weak, so you'll put up a barrier of like an anger wall, if you like, that you put up in front of you that stops people getting in. Even when I got out of that relationship, and I left my husband at the time, I still felt that if I was kind to myself or I let somebody be kind to me, then that would show a crack or a weakness and it would allow somebody in to then be able to take off control. This kind of fight can be really, really exhausting because you're fighting yourself and the world all at the same time, and it's just so hard and it just wears you down and it makes you feel like you are not, you're just fighting a losing battle, really. So I want you to think about this, okay? Self-compassion isn't giving up, it's giving in. It's giving in to the truth that healing happens through connections, not punishment. You have to have self-compassion. You know, you have to give yourself that hug, that pat on the back, that kind word. You don't have to bully yourself into becoming better, you know, because that only sets you back. There's no point in you being the bully to your own mind. That's just pointless. So you need to give yourself a lot of self-compassion because you don't have to earn your own love. You love yourself no matter what, and you love yourself unconditionally. In my Heart to Heal method, we gently build trust within yourself again. We learn how to soften without falling apart. We learn how to reset without losing progress. And we learn how to grow, but not by force. I'm not trying to force you up to be something that you're not. It's just a gentle process where I hold your hand all the way through and I keep you in a beautiful container that you know when you're in that container, you're safe. And what it does, it finally makes you feel safe in your own skin. And I want you to know this, you've survived enough. It's time to try healing without the whip in your hand. You don't have to be at war with yourself to be worthy of peace. So if you're ready to find your own peace, to call a truce on this war that's happening within, then drop me a message, send me an email, book a call, whatever it might be, but take that next step. Don't suffer in silence. That's it from me today. I shall see you all again soon. Bye for now.